Gaining muscle and burning fat. A lot of it has to do with the kitchen. Of course, we know weight training, progressive overload, lifting heavy things. It's my favorite thing to talk about, my favorite thing to do, but the kitchen cannot be ignored. Arguably, it is the biggest factor when it comes to those components, but I say they're both pretty equal. You got to get in the gym, you got to know what you're eating. I'm going to teach you a little trick real quick on how to know if something is calorie dense or whether it's nutrient dense. At Cardiac Rehab, we teach this a lot. We really drill it home on how to read labels to make sure you're getting a calorie or a nutrient dense food versus a calorie dense food. A calorie dense food is just like it sounds. It's very dense. The food is, and it doesn't take up a lot of space on your plate or in your tummy. So it's not going to help you feel full, probably not full of fiber and all the macronutrients that we need to help us be our healthiest self. So I saw somebody on Instagram the other day pull this kind of theory. It's a little bit different, but we pull it into a protein component. And I thought, oh, that's genius. So I'm going to tag her in the appropriate social media space that I place this at. So reading labels is very important, even if you're not counting calories or you're not macro counting. And I like macros to teach, and it's a teaching tool that we use. But even so, you still should know how to read a label. And if you don't, that's okay. Just time to learn. So we're going to look at this can of nuts here, and I'm going to teach you how to tell if it's calorie dense or if it's nutrient dense, and then I'm going to show you how to see if it's a good source of protein. That was the thing I thought, wow, that's so cool. So we're going to see if it's calorie dense or nutrient dense. We're going to look at the gram size right here, 28 grams. That's the serving size. The calories are 170. When you're looking at something, whether it's a nutrient dense or a calorie dense food, you're going to try to get that a 1-to-1 ratio. So sorry, not 1-to-1 ratio. You're going to want that to be a 1-to-1 ratio when you take 28 grams and 170 calories. They need to be about equal. So this would be a very calorie dense food. So let me say that again. 28 grams, you want that to be about equal to the number of calories in order for it to be a nutrient dense food on a nutrition label. This is not. This would be a very calorie dense food. We probably all understand that. Nuts are very delicious, but they can build up in calories very quickly, and they don't tend to fill most people up. So I'm going to apply a similar principle to the protein and to see if this is a good protein source. Again, a lot of people, and I'll tag my other friend in here too, she did a whole reel on if nuts are a good source of protein. We have kind of thought that, or at least sometimes in the nutrition space, some people might say, grab some nuts. It's a great vegan source of protein. It's not a source of protein, it's actually a source of fat. So let's figure that out real quick. So if you're going to look at a label, this is how to tell if something's a high protein food, so you can get the most bang for your buck. You're going to take, so the other one, nutrient dense, calorie dense, is 28 grams, 170. That's not a 1-to-1. You're going to want to look at the protein this time. You're going to take the protein, 5 grams, and you're going to add a 0. So this is a 10-to-1. 10-to-1 ratio here. I know it's a lot of numbers. Don't let it get you confused. It's not that confusing, but I just want you to know how to read labels. 5, and you add a 0, and you're going to look at the calories and see if that's a 10-to-1. It's not, okay, because you're going to add the 0. 50 grams or you're going to go 50 and 170. So grams is 5 grams of protein, 170 calories. Even when you add the 0, that should equal out to 170. It's not. Okay, so let me pull another food because I know it can kind of get confusing. So we're going to take this protein shake real quick. Now, if you take, I'm going to get a powdered protein because the powdered protein will make a little bit more sense because it's going to be a gram. Okay, so if you take this gram and you're going to see if this is a calorie dense food, you're going to go 35.3 grams in a serving. And then 140 calories. That's not really a nutrient dense food, but here's the kicker. When you're looking for a high protein source, we're going to see if this is high protein. This time you're going to take the protein, 20 grams in one serving. You're going to add a 0 equals 200, 140 calories. That protein with the 0 added is more than the calories. So this would be a high protein, but not a nutrient dense food. Does that make sense? Now we're taking the macro of protein, and we're putting that here at this top level to prioritize our protein. So that's going to be how you figure out how to get that protein. I'll do one more just so you can see. We're going to take this bag of coleslaw, which I love. You guys should have this on hand. It's great to throw in a salad raw, but it's super yummy if you saute it up. Lots of recipes with this. We're going to look at the grams and see if it's nutrient dense and see if it's good to eat for nutrient density. 85 grams, 20 calories. Super nutrient dense, loaded with antioxidants, phytonutrients, all the things, fiber, everything that you want in a food is here. It's going to fill your belly up and it's going to fill your plate up. It's very nutrient dense. It's not calorie dense because there's not a lot of calories in it. 20 calories. However, is this a high protein food? You're going to take the protein, 1 gram, add a 0. Let's come up here to the calories, and it's 20. So it's not a real high protein food. We would probably already guess that. But I hope you guys can understand that real quick, because sometimes when we're counting macros, you can, like if you are wanting to be in a caloric deficit, that's how we lose weight, and you want to keep your protein high, you want to kind of learn different ways that's going to make sense to you. Your protein, you want to get your numbers, but you also want to make sure that you're getting enough food throughout the day. Oftentimes, if we're taking foods that are very calorically dense and we're filling up our app and wherever we're tracking with those calorically dense foods, we're like, what the heck? All of my fat grams are already there, which we're not eating low fat. Okay, that's not what it is. Fat is very calorically dense. So you can only eat a little bit. If that's what you choose to do, then that's what you choose to do. But you're not going to meet your protein goals by just getting nuts and calorically dense foods. Okay, so I want you to keep that in mind. So if you're tracking things and you have certain numbers to meet, or you're just kind of going for a calorie number, you're still going to get that calorie really, really high if you're including a lot of nutrient dense or a lot of calorie dense foods without being high protein. So I hope that makes sense. I just thought that was such a cool way to add that protein component into something that we teach. Now, if you're looking at a whole grain, this back here, then your grams, for nutrient dense and calorie dense, you're going to actually multiply your gram number because you add water and things like that. But we already know that's a good source of whole grains. So I hope that helps. Maybe you guys can save this for next time or reference. If it kind of doesn't make sense, let me see if I can explain. Let me know in the comments if you need a little bit of help kind of figuring that out. But that's what we teach. It's what we teach at Cardiac Rehab, and I thought that was a genius way to add the protein component in there as well. So you want to really focus on nutrient-dense whole foods, okay? Fruits, vegetables, all of those things, and then also higher protein most of the time, unless there's special cases, and you'll know who you are. But if you're looking to maximize your food and your muscle gain, you want to really make sure that you're getting enough protein. It's the hot word in the nutrition space, as it should be. So make sure you are prioritizing protein and fiber. You're getting full. All of those things is going to help you create this environment inside your body to help you build muscle and burn fat, all the things. So let me know if this was helpful. Share it, save it, all the things. Love you. Go work out, eat healthy.